there's a very few people who actually make change happen. You are one of those people. Well, you're a likable guy.
Thanks.
They attack you a lot.
They do.
I was a history major, and when you study history, what you realize is that, there's the great man theory, and they talk about kings and princes and queens and presidents. It's really the people in tech who change the world. Would you agree with that assessment?
I think technology is the thing that causes these big step changes in civilization. So obviously you've got things like, say, the Gutenberg press, before which it was very difficult to get books. They were very rare. Even if you had a thirst for knowledge, you really couldn't do anything about it because there were very few books to read. So, and the internet is something beyond the Gutenberg press, I think. But it's when I first saw the internet coming into being in a way that the general public could use it, it felt like humanity as a whole was developing a nervous system. So previously, the way the information would travel would be by osmosis, one person to another, or one person calling another. The access to information was very limited. Now with the internet, it's like having a nervous system. It's like any part of humanity has access to almost all the information of humanity. Like you could be in the middle of the Amazon jungle with, say, a Starlink terminal and have access to more information than the president did in 1980. I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. So, those are two of the aspects of the work Mind Bias that I think are very dangerous. Is that it's often anti-meritocratic. You can't question things. Even the questioning is bad. Almost synonymous would be cancel culture. Free speech is actually is extremely important, and it's bizarre that we've come to this point where, free speech used to be a left or liberal value, and yet we see from the in quotes left a desire to actually censor, and that seems crazy. I mean, I think we should be extremely concerned about anything that undermines the First Amendment. There's a reason for the First Amendment. The First Amendment is because people came from countries where they could not speak freely, and where saying certain things would get you thrown into prison. And they were like, well, we don't want that here. And by the way, in many parts of the world, including parts of the world that people might think are relatively similar to the United States, the speech laws are draconian. I really can't emphasize this enough. We must protect free speech, and free speech only matters. It's only relevant when it's someone you don't like saying something you don't like, because obviously speech that you like is it's easy. So it's the thing about censorship is that for those who would advocate it, just remember at some point that will be turned on you. I was trying to figure out where it's coming from. I think it's actually been a long time brewing, in that it's. I think it's been going on for a while. And the amount of indoctrination that's happening in schools and universities is, I think, far beyond what parents realize. And I sort of came to realize this somewhat late. The experience that we had in high school and college is not the experience that kids today are having, and hasn't been for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe 20 years. So. Let me give you an example that a friend of mine told me, which his daughters go to college go to high school in the Bay Area, and he was asking them, like, well, so who are the first few presidents of the United States? They could name Washington, and I said, well, what do you know about him? Well, he was a slave owner. What else?
Right. Exactly.
Nothing.
Right.
Like, okay, maybe you should know more than that. Slavery is obviously a horrific institution, but we should still know more about George Washington than that. Well, Twitter has a tremendous audience. So there's 250 million people that spend an average of half an hour a day on Twitter. So it's about 120 to 130 million user hours per day, and it's been increasing. So we didn't do anything, to be clear, we did nothing special whatsoever. I learned about it afterwards, that he'd posted something on Twitter. So it's just that Twitter has a lot of people's attention. And it tends to be the people that are that read a lot or are interested in current events, and I think it's been increasing. So the experience that we had in high school and college is not the experience that kids today are having, and where it's coming from. I think the generally are pretty influential. So